Relax.
Yeah, so I looked at those too. I get those.
All right, man. So this here conversation is long overdue. Um, this man right here is the inspiration. This the inspiration. Let's just. I don't want to be dramatic about it because I know he a cool dude. But no, um, this whole thing, this room, this everything, this voice that I'm developing, um, the this whole experience, I'm gonna just credit it to you, Mark. So I want to introduce my man, my cousin, my family, my friend, my guy, my OG, um, Mr. Marcus West, man.
Peace, 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 peace. Hey man, I appreciate that introduction. I appreciate that. For a minute I had to think, are you talking about me?
Yeah, man, absolutely,
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
All of that. Look, I can keep going. Look, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
Here we go. So, part of my journey as being a coach, getting involved and embedded back in the community, understanding I have value. I want to attribute that to this man as well. Um, oftentimes I just thought like I couldn't find my position. I was always the fly on the wall and didn't know the value that I present to people.
Mhm.
And you always constantly in my ear, just like yo, you got some value. So taking it back to the boys club, the boys and girls club, coming back there and dipping my toe in the water, like just starting somewhere.
Right.
And I
Right.
I owe a lot of this voice to that experience as well. And you were instrumental in that. Um, but in that time that we spent together, I learned. I think I developed a cooler demeanor, and I attribute that to you and how you go about life, just taking a breath. I was a young man full of fire.
Ready to set the world on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, just
Yeah.
just want to force everything and not
Yeah.
understanding how to look at things from a different perspective.
Mhm.
And from our interactions, I've developed some new muscles, and I
Mm.
think like this is what's going to be the catalyst for the change in our community when people can understand what the other side looks like. More often than not, we resort to an aggressive, violent temperament because that was a sign of respect where we
Mhm.
come from,
Mhm.
and everybody wants to be respected. Um, but I developed a healthier respect by watching how you move and how, even in our interaction, um, how that just allowed me to develop some new perspective. I know I'm talking very heavy and deep, but man, this it just is that plain for me. That's exactly what you did for me. Um, so that was years ago.
Yeah. That
And
was that
since
was
then it's just like, man, breath of fresh air, breath of fresh air. In every
yeah.
conversation we have, so even before we got on this mic, it was
Right.
loaded
Right.
conversation. So I said we just gonna roll from here.
Right.
But again, I'm introducing my man, my OG. This is who I lean on when I need some to untangle some things. This is my guy, Mr.
But
Marcus West.
I appreciate it, man. I knew back then, when I was the head coach of a football team, of the youth football team. Um, I didn't know what you knew about football. I knew you had played football, but still, I didn't know to what extent you knew about football. But what I felt was that you had something to offer the youth from our area, because that's what I was all about. Just I started coaching because my oldest son was 5, so I got into it then, and I realized, um, not just for the sake of my oldest son, but there were other kids who didn't have what he had in me, father figure. So I gravitated to a lot of young men downtown, and I started, developing the relationship with those guys, and it just went from there. And I really started enjoying it. And it wasn't about winning football games. It was about I got an opportunity to help shape and mold some of these young men. And I lost a few, and that's just the nature of the game. But I gained a lot of friendships and in their parents and some of the youth. And so when you came along, being a father of a young man, I figured, hey, you know, he can help me do what I set out to do, and that was to help the youth. Not so much about winning football games, but giving back and helping those who would receive what we had to offer. So that was my big thing with you when you came in to the coaching situation, and I knew you was gonna be good. I knew you were gonna be good because let me take that back. I knew you was gonna be great at giving back to the kids, giving back to the community. And I've said this to you 1,000 times off air. The genuine guy that you are, that's what I saw before I saw anything football coach, Navy Academy, all that stuff. I knew you was genuine. So, um,
Damn, man.
nah, dog, that's just what it is. And I needed you. I needed you to help me continue my goals of reaching these young men, pulling them in, letting them know that on the other side of that fence where we was practicing at,
Yeah.
won't nothing gonna happen good over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah,
man was definitely that.
man. Facts.
But now you man, were you always that calculated? Like as far as thinking ahead, because man, this is as of recent. With these conversations and a few guests that came online, they told me that Brandon, you like to move and you have action, but you have the tendency to expect you out of other people. And what you need to do is get clear on what it is that you want. And when they hit me with that, and I'm just sitting here like, bro, I want you to re- receive this energy I'm giving and reciprocate it.
Uh-huh.
And she's just like, that's unrealistic, Brandon. So like, as far as being calculated and just laying out the things that you want, because I was always trying to run away from this selfish mentality, like
Mhm.
quid pro quo. If I do this, then I better get this in return. But I'm starting to understand, like, man, you have to move with some direction, and your fulfillment in any process is important and is
Yeah.
significant.
Yeah.
So you just laying all that out, like, hey, this is what I want to do. What inspired you to move on that path?
Um, I guess I would I guess I would have to say being a product of a single parent. Um, Not having my father in my life um full time, full time. Um, Knowing that I wanted to be a better man than he was to me and my mother. And don't get me wrong, my pops is my guy, but when it comes to being the father, the dad, and all that stuff, I didn't have that. So that was my goal, and this was before I had children. I just knew I wanted to be better than he was to me. So um, along comes the oldest boy in '94, and here's my opportunity to to do what I set out to do. And once I got involved in youth sports, it took a whole another turn with other youth that I realized, hey man, I ain't the only one that was brought up by a single parent. You dig?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the opportunity to stand on business, as they say now, and I wanted to live up to that. And was I perfect? No, no, not at all. And I'm still learning. And so what you see today is not what I was yesterday. I'm an I'm still an unfinished product,
Yeah.
but I'm learning. I'm willing to learn. I don't mind being quiet and listening,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just that's something that has developed over time. But it's always been in me to want to be better than the man that helped create me.
Improvement, just stacking on top, like
Mm-hmm.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
I think we living in the microwave era. to where,
Instant pudding.
yeah, bro, let me get that right now. And
Right,
I
right.
think that's where I struggle. So I'm hearing your story, but it just sounds like this was all a part of a journey.
Definitely. Um, it's been it's been a roller coaster. Um, like I said, being a product of a single parent, being from downtown Newport News, I could have been a statistic. My mom could have been a statistic,
Mm,
but she refused to be a statistic because I'm a firm believer, and it's because of her. When you become a parent, there is no options of being a failure. And that's just what my mom instilled in me. And I refuse to be held down and told what I can't do when it comes to my children and trying to help people. So, and again, I've learned you can't please everybody, you can't save everybody. But those that want my help, and you laughing because I know why you laughing, and we can expand on that too. But I I I had to learn that early on that you can you can want to help everyone, but that's not the reality. The ones that want to be helped, you pull them in. The ones that don't, I don't want to get all biblical on you. Just pray for them.
Dang, man.
You just pray for them.
That's like 2013 era.
Yeah,
Two-
yeah, yeah. We had a big discussion, and I, I'll never forget when we had that discussion. And
hot. I was hot.
yeah,
Young.
yeah, young, full of energy. You had your cape on,
Yeah.
and it was like, yo, I want to save everybody, and I'm like, B, you're not gonna be able to save everybody, and you was like, why not? And I'm like, it's it's not, but I was telling you that off of the experience
Word.
that I had as a coach. I had been down there since '99,
Mm.
and I've lost young men to the street. I lost young men to death. Some became fathers early, and but on the other side, I had young men that went to college. I had young men that just got in the shipyard. And so when I see those guys and they come up to me, hey, Coach Mark, I'm working at Target distribution, or I'm working in the shipyard. Man, that's what's up, man. I'm glad to see you doing something. I've went to a couple of funerals for young men that I have coached over the years.
Right.
I've heard stories of some young men that I've coached over the year are sitting in jail today. So I would like to believe that at some point, doing all the things that's going on in life, something that I said to them on that football field, whether it was joking or jumping in their face, I hope something I said
Resonate.
resonate. It's like, damn, Coach Mark wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
But that day you said that, I just wanted you to understand. I didn't want you to be disappointed because it can be disappointing.
Oh yeah.
And as your cousin, because I didn't look at myself as your mentor at that time. As your cousin, I didn't want you to be disappointed when you missed the opportunity because you gave everything you could and it went to the left. Because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
And it's not to brag, not to toot my horn, none, but I've helped young men to the point where I was buying clothes, I was buying cliques, I made sure the registration were paid. I was
Mhm.
doing all these things. And some of them gave me their ass to kiss as the season went on. And then I had to deal with the parents. And I'm like, yo, I came to help you.
Mhm.
So it was disappointing.
Mhm.
So I had to get over that. And it was my job to let you know,
Right.
because you can give all you can give, man. Everybody ain't going to want it.
Yeah.
And you didn't feel that at the time. But everything happens for a reason,
Right.
So
Right. No, you definitely laid out what it was, but I'm one of those hard headed people who gotta see, get that own experience,
yeah.
and that comes with wisdom,
Mhm. Mhm.
So now it's my job just to show what you were trying to show me, that very thing, to other people.
That's right. And you're doing a great job at it. You're doing a great job at it,
Appreciate
man.
it.
And I tell you all the time, man. I appreciate the alley oop you've thrown for me to get some things started, and it means
This,
a lot to me.
man, this is what
So,
it's all about. Like I, same way, like I see you, I see me, and this is where we say when you stay close to sincere people because they become your mirrors.
mm-hmm,
And so for me, I that's another transparent moment. It's just like confidence is not always there. Um, I'm used to adversity and just getting punched in the face and getting knocked down and getting set back. And when that stuff just constantly happens, it kind of like rattles your confidence. So, but what I failed to see was how I was resilient and getting back up.
mm-hmm,
But it was you who was holding up the mirror to me, like, "Hey, man, get up. This you." And I'm
mm-hmm,
looking at you, and I'm holding you in the same high esteem. So, like, as you're saying the same thing to me, I have to reflect that energy back. Like, reciprocity is big for me,
mm-hmm.
but it's not just out of some, oh, I'm faking a funk. This is what I truly see, and
Right.
so I can't hold that in. And a lot of people don't want to give people flowers because it makes them feel like, it reveals who they are to themselves,
Mm-hmm,
like, or what they're not.
mm-hmm,
And so I don't know. I got to let my stuff out. Like, I understand how this thing works. Like, energy is transferred,
mm-hmm.
especially with people who you see in those highlights. So, um, just knowing the journey or where you wanted to go, like we share each other's stories, share what we want to see, share our dreams.
Right.
And if you sharing your dream with me, I'm not gonna take it and try to run with it. I'm one of the people that's gonna help build that foundation. What can I do
Right.
to help get this thing off the ground?
Right.
Where can I serve? Because I understand that service to other people comes back in so many different other ways. So,
Being a servant is huge too, and a lot of brothers don't they don't want to take on that role of being servers. A lot of brothers want to be takers, or that's just my opinion. But
no, that's real.
um,
That's real.
serving others, man, it's it can be a beautiful thing, and it can open a lot of doors for you because people will see. I put it to you like this. I tell my sons all the time: if you have it and someone needs it, give it.
Mm,
If you don't have it, when they come to you and ask you that, can I get so and so, and you don't have it, and you tell them I don't have it, they're gonna believe you because they know, man, if he had
yeah.
it, he gonna give it to me, so he must don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of being a server,
Mm-hmm.
helping others. And my grandmother instilled that in me a lot. You know, giving to others and not looking for anything in return.
Right.
That's big. And once you master that, you'll be amazed at what comes along with people that you have helped along the way. Because, like I said, um, you've been nothing but good when it comes to me asking you, you know, telling you what I wanted to do with my podcast. And it's gonna happen for me
I mean,
because you've
it's
put me in
already done.
position. You
It's
put me in
already done.
position. You know what I'm saying?
It's already done.
Yeah, man. So
So the other side of that, we talk about givers, and what I run across is like the flip side,
mhm.
a receiver. Now, if you're a natural giver and it's no sweat off your back to give, I think that for me, and I'm gonna speak on me. I love
Okay.
speaking on me,
Okay.
my experience. I had to learn how to become a receiver,
Mhm.
and that was the more challenging thing for me. Again, it was all rooted in confidence. It's all rooted in giving. It's all about um, I speak on that transfer of energy, that reciprocity.
Mhm.
Now, me not knowing how to be a true receiver, that means the feeling that I get when I give people,
Mhm.
I was denying that same feeling to the people who were trying to give stuff to me. So you could say, "Oh, Brandon, you got this going on, man. Oh, you doing it, you doing it," and I just play it like, nah, man, this ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Instead of learning how to receive what people are giving me, like,
Mhm.
man, thank you, man. I bust my ass on that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
receiving that because now you know that they know that you see them and you believe their words to be true
Mhm.
of what they see.
Mhm.
And it's not just always gift giving, but it's just that energy. When somebody's trying to pass along that good energy to it, don't play it down. Don't say, "Oh man, I ain't doing that." this ain't making no noise. Words got real power.
That's right.
Like somebody make you a nice birthday cake, and you just play it down like, nah, man, I don't really do nothing on my birthday. You got to learn how to like give that energy back that people are trying to give you.
That's right. Don't be a blessing blocker.
Word.
Don't be a blessing blocker. Don't be so willing to give out the blessings, but when the blessings come to you, you want to be humble and block them. Nah, receive them.
I had to learn.
Receive them, dog. Hey, take them flowers.
I'm learning.
You heard?
I'm learning. I don't know why that was such a difficult thing, but it is. And I didn't understand how that makes other people feel, because now people are running around you. Like, they hold you in this highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then what bothers them is they could do nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes them feel less than, or a moocher or a taker. And a lot of people don't want to be that. They want to be in your company for real.
Right.
They want to reciprocate. They want to give you something. They want you to see them in that same light that they see them, that
Mm-hmm.
they see you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done a not so good job. I'm learning, but I didn't understand the impact that had.
Yeah. Well, the key word is, you said you're still learning, and every day that the Most High give you the opportunity to open your eyes, you have the opportunity to be better than
Word.
you were
Word.
yesterday.
Word.
So as long as you continue to acknowledge that your book is not finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not a stone wall. So you're a sponge. You're willing to listen. You're willing to learn. Accept your faults. Own your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be held accountable. And that's a lot of people don't want to own their shit. Don't want to be held accountable. And that's where the problem comes in. Because we're not going to always be right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to please everybody. So for me, I stay focused on my circle. I'm a firm believer. I'm only as great as the company that I keep. That's how I feel.
Right.
So I focus on my circle, what I can give my circle, and in hopes my circle can branch out and give others. And in that process, what I'm telling them, feeding them, is getting handed out to those people too. I've learned a long time ago, when I stretch myself out and start doing this and doing that for other people, some people get left behind. So I reeled it in and just hey, let's deal with this circle right here and see who really wants it. So, that works for me.
No, I think that's real. Not overextending ourselves.
Right.
And understand that, teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, sir.
But all of that starts with like a foundation, a standard.
Yeah.
When we say accountability, it's like there's no standard to even hold somebody accountable to. But there's like a fluctuating thing, like it's a moving goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
And we have standards that we live by, that we think every common, decent person should.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no common standard, like personal space.
Yeah.
How to express yourself to people.
Mm-hmm.
What words? What's our standard language?
Mm-hmm.
It's varying, and that's where you offend people, and you and when you offend and you can't understand why this is offensive to somebody. So I'm not holding myself accountable for your standard.
Right.
We don't have a basic baseline to go off of, and I don't know. That goes back to our disconnection as people, but we can digress on that conversation.
Yeah.
But that's real. That's real. I wanted to get into your project, what we're working on.
Okay.
So that we can kind of like prep the people for like where your passion lies and what we can expect to see from what you're going to build.
Indeed. I'll take you back when it first started. Probably around the pandemic time. I decided I wanted to get into the podcast industry. And so I went out and I brought everything I thought I needed. And life was lifing. Even during the pandemic, my job, I was still working.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to get involved with the podcast. So it's set in the house from 21 to 24, and some of the equipment had got upgraded. So man, I got this here, and they didn't went and the road too, and this and that. So what I did was had a conversation with you,
Hmm.
a real meaningful conversation with you about what I wanted to do, and you was more than willing to help me, and just got lost again. Life be lifing. But the name of the podcast is Peace Party People. It'll be talking, or will be talking, about the culture, fashion, in hip hop, the music, of course. I'll sprinkle in fatherhood. Definitely, there'll be a conversation about youth development, community, in a whole. It's just something that's dear to my heart when it comes to music, and everything that comes with hip hop. I've embraced it. The good, the bad, the ugly,
Hmm.
all of it, man, because I am a product of hip hop.
Mm.
And so the name itself comes from a Biz song, Peace Party People. And I'm looking forward to getting it started. And I hope that when people tune in, I'll be able to give them some jewels. And I'm going to be open to get some jewels too, because I don't know everything. I want to be educated on some of the new rappers and some of the new songs so I can listen, so I can relate, because I don't want to be talking out of term, and I don't want to sit up here and be the old guy that's saying, "Oh, nah, that's whack," or "Nah, he's not good," and I haven't gave it a chance. So um, I'll be open for suggestions. People send me songs, and I just wanted to get to a point where when you tune in, you're gonna get some real good information on music, and we're gonna listen to some real good music, and I want some real good feedback. So, I'm looking to get that thing started real soon. So, peace party people.
Man, I think just where we are in the state of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like you, like I was raised on it, like I'm product of
Mm-hmm.
hip hop, and
Mm-hmm.
I know it's been diluted, and I feel like I'm one of these antiquated old guys who's talking about what it used to be. But when I see people my age or even older
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell me that this is sheer entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
I feel a type of way about it because like the music that I grew up with, it shaped me, it molded me. Like I am who I am today because of what my ears digested
Yeah.
and
There was a
what
message.
right.
There was a message. There was a purpose. There was originality. Um, there was a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, starting off with I'm telling my age, I'm taking it back. Um, Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, very aggressive. Run DMC, very aggressive. LL Cool J, very aggressive. And then it slows down with Rakim, you know, EPMD. But the standard was set. You didn't sit down and want to write nothing, pen to pad, and go to somebody's studio and record something if you didn't think you were trying you were trying to be better than what you heard from the Sugar Hill Gang. Then you was trying to be better than what you heard Melly Mel do. Then you was trying to be better than Run DMC. Okay, so DMC set the bar. Okay, Houdini set the bar. Okay, you know what? We gotta come a little harder. Here come Big Daddy Kane. Oh man, how you gonna get better than that? Here come Rakim. So there were standards and levels,
Yeah.
as they say. And I'll take it from hip hop. New Edition knew that if they wanted to be around a long time, they had to get them steps together. their standard was the Temptations.
Mm.
So coming into the game, got to be right. You know what I'm saying? Drew Hill knew that when they stepped in there and had to get that thing right, Jodeci had already had that thing on lock. So we had to be better. We had to try to get to that level. I don't believe these young men and women have that standard today because everyone sounds alike. It's a money grab.
Mm.
It's auto tune. It's sexualized, terrible. Not just saying we didn't have that going on in the '90s. I'm not gonna front. We had some ass shaking going on too. But today, there's no originality. Everyone sounds the same. So, and I'm not knocking it. They're getting paid money out the ass today that guys back in the day didn't get. It was about the skill set. It was about for me as a consumer listening to them. Oh man, rewind that back. Did you catch that?
Right.
Hold on, man. Pause that. Go back. That's the type of music. That's the type of hip hop that I'm from.
Right.
I'm from like, hey yo, did you just hear what Cool G said? Yo, rewind that. Yo, did you just hear what Nas said? Man, rewind that. I don't get that rewind that with these young men and young ladies today. It's kind of like, man, cut that shit off. And it's bad because those young men and young women have found a way to get their parents out of the hood or, change their life. And that's cool. But I've had this conversation with you before. I had it with another partner of mine. Some record labels
Talk on it.
are cashing in
Talk
off
on
the
it.
trauma
Talk on it.
of black people. Domestic violence, rape, drug use.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not saying none of that stuff didn't exist in the 90s hip hop. But it was small. It was a small thing to giants when it came to some of the great MCs that really honed their skills and they wanted you to hear the message, you know? And I don't get that from the music of today. There are some I tell you this, it was at one point a time in life in music for me that the underground MC wanted to come from underground and become mainstream.
That's what's going on.
You dig?
Yep.
Now, for me as a old hip hop head, I'm going back underground
Got to.
because the mainstream is not for me.
Got to.
And it's wow, it's crazy. It's making money, so if that's what you want, that's cool. It's not for me. And that's what when we get this train rolling on the Peace Party people, we gonna have those debates.
Oh man, so this sound like a whole hip hop is dead.
Yeah.
This,
Well, let me say this. Hip hop is a culture.
Mm-hmm.
The way you wear your clothes, the way you speak,
Oh.
the culture is not dead.
Mm.
Some of the elements are being tainted and torn and ripped, but I don't want to say hip hop is dead because I know some people who are living this thing for real, the culture of hip hop. And but
I think what you're speaking on is like the art.
the art, definitely.
The art.
Yeah.
And the art has been compromised.
Oh man, tremendously.
Like you said, it was messages.
Mm-hmm.
And my people, the Nas, the Mob Dees, Wu Tang, like that was my era.
Let me say this, and I'm gonna say it today, and we're gonna speak on it again in my podcast. Messages. There was a song called "Be a Father to Your Child" by Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, brother from Boston. I needed to hear that. And I wasn't a father then. But coming from where I came from, what I just spoke to y'all about not too long ago on this podcast, be a father to your child. Dog, that was already in me, but now I'm listening to this brother say that. If you have not heard it or you do not remember it, go back and listen to Ed O.G., Be a Father to Your Child. Trust me when I tell you, I got that message loud and clear, dog. And I was already on that path, but I didn't have any kids then, but that right there. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you like that, be sure to check back in with us. We gonna definitely rock on Peace Party, people, and dive into these conversations, because this is the culture.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we dress, how we walk, how we talk, how we exchange information with each other. Like, this was our medium to have dialogue with people, and me being from Virginia and not having any connections out of town.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we talk to people in New York. This is how you talk to people in Los Angeles, Florida, Texas, Chicago. This was our medium. This is how we connected.
Think about this. What you just said. I'm sitting here thinking about what you just said. Hip hop was the internet before we got the internet.
It was.
It was the wide world web. Because like you said, I didn't know what was going on in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard Fuck the Police in 87, 88, when I heard about the Bloods and the Crips, I didn't know anything about that. I wasn't reading the paper like that to get that information.
Mm-hmm.
So here come Eazy-E speaking on that, gang violence, police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't witnessed none of that here in Newport News, Virginia.
No.
You dig?
Word.
So when the brothers in Texas was chopped and screwed and drinking lean, I didn't know nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? When the brothers down in Miami was giving us that bass music, I ain't know nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Virginia and I'm listening to all this music from different, once it traveled from New York, that was our internet. That was our Google. You dig?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had to jump in on that, because what you were saying, you're absolutely right. Until the internet became what it is today, I just would have been in my little bubble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so when people could see how we connect, that's value and connection. And when people can understand that we have connections, they tend to monetize them.
Right.
So we have to value our ability to connect. That's just on a higher level, but I want to speak on it because I think we lose sight on our ability to connect, and we don't see the value in connecting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
People loosely say, oh, your network determines your net worth. If we could really internalize what that means, lock arms with each other and focus on something, set an objective, something we want to see, and start marching towards it. Incremental steps. We started this thing with progress and start identifying what progress looks like. So every time you hit a waypoint, you know for a fact that we are moving, we are in motion. What I've seen from what you talked about with where this stuff was 3 years ago.
Yes.
This was sitting in a garage 3 years ago.
Yes, it was.
If you look at, I think I posted on my Instagram maybe back in February when we had the picnic table in here. We set the mixer and the mics up and just messing around. Like, that was then.
Yeah.
We're in June now, to where I finally got you sitting down in here. It's still progress.
Yeah.
We on God's time.
Facts.
So when the time is right, it's gonna be right.
Facts.
But we get caught up in all this stuff. But at the end of the day, this is what progress looks like. And when we identify it, now we're like, oh, we did this. And I'm telling you, this may not be a viral video.
Right.
But I guarantee you, we're going to catch a couple eyes.
And that's what it's about.
We're going to catch a few eyes.
Yeah.
And if you feel what we're trying to do, we need you. Because we're going to keep building.
That's right.
And it's going to take all of us to do it. But when we can recognize the value in connecting and growing, that's when we control the money. We said what we said about rap because once people can start connecting dots, because we're being studied, everything, every piece of data that we put out, they people are analyzing it. And how
Mm-hmm.
can they make a buck off of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're monetizing off of trauma,
Right.
and that trauma is has us in this perpetual cycle because yeah, when one person makes it out, the music that has been put back is affecting a million more people to keep them in that same cycle.
Right.
Be a father to your child.
Mm-hmm.
This is a song that resonated with you that was made years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it planted a seed in your head of what you should be.
Mm-hmm.
We started this conversation with, oh man, it was in me. But these things that are in relation to your idea, these solidify, provide
Mhm.
that foundation, that
Mhm.
cornerstone of who you want to be.
Mhm.
Because it's not just your thought. We have our original thoughts, but sometimes we want somebody to give us that second, that third.
That's it.
And these blocks are building on who you're going to be. Because I seen an example here. I imagined this, but this validated that.
Yes.
This was validation.
Yes.
I got to get out here and see this. Now I'm going to try to be this. And when you say I wasn't perfect,
Mm-mm.
all I had was this to work with. I had a song, I
Mhm.
had an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I traveled and I saw a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
This was my foundation. And now I'm building with other men and I'm continuing to grow. And now we sitting down and we are pretty much relaying our stories
Mm-hmm.
so that somebody has this blueprint from the jump.
That's right. That's right.
This is what building looks like. I know I went off on a little tangent.
It's
but
cool. It's cool. And that's when you're speaking genuinely, man. That's what happens, brother.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. Like I said, man, I haven't always been what you see sitting here today, and I've had my share of ugly moments in life, but it's made me who I am today, and I can honestly say that I am I'm very appreciative of the life that I live today, and I'm humbled. I'm glad I went through some of the things I went through,
Had to.
because if I didn't, this moment wouldn't be happening. You know, being a product of a single parent, I wanted to pull away from that label, a mama's boy. So I jumped off the porch, um, dibbling and dabbling, mingling with some people that, had a lot of other stuff going on, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I did, and everything about that wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But again, it happened for a reason. It shaped me. It scared the hell out of me too. But so that's a chapter in my book that I can reference to. I can flip the pages back and I can go back and I can have conversations with young men and young women, my sons, my cousins. I can have those conversations with y'all and let y'all know, hey man, you can try it, but there gonna be some consequences. And
Right. And I think I know the story, and I don't know if you want to save it for another day.
yeah,
but
we'll do.
but I think that we have to do a better job of that too. Those valleys that we're in, those
Mhm.
low points, like a lot of people glaze over them and just show where they are today.
Oh yeah,
and people will get lost in that roadmap.
Mhm.
Like, what hardships did you face?
right.
And shit, every day a hardship, but we gotta stick our chest out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Chin up and keep getting to it.
Yeah.
And it's tough to be vulnerable and be like, look, man, I'm fucked up right now. You know what I mean?
In this world we live today,
Yeah.
because the minute you open that's that's all kind of criticism.
Yeah.
Oh, he weak. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's soft. And so if you don't have it in you to say, I don't care what nobody think,
Right.
I'm just being me.
That's real. But it's I guess the thing I want people to know is like nothing comes easy, man.
Right.
So regardless of where you are on your journey, man, if you're in the spot right now, Joe, just keep going.
Yeah. No one posts the struggle.
Nah,
They post
nah.
themselves at the finish line. Oh, look at this polished, shiny, you know,
Word.
this is what it is.
Word.
No. Show them the bullshit. Show them the pitfalls. Tell them about the shit that got you to where you are. Don't just keep glossing over that and just like, yeah, I woke up and grabbed the microphone and I'm one of the biggest podcast motherfuckers there is. Or, yeah, I went out and brought this building the other day and how'd you get it? You ain't just, nah. You ain't just buy that building off the strength of just because you just brought, no. How did you get that?
And when you don't share those stories, um, they you kind of sweep them under the rug like dust. And I'm appreciative of my circle. I'm gonna just say that again because like recently, I don't know, I had a tough time looking at my accomplishments, the things that I was able to do, the things that I was able to succeed at, and recognize them as accomplishments. Um, Not doing that didn't leave a trail for people to see where I am because like my story is I've my entire life I was kind of like going under the radar, gliding under the radar. Nobody really was checking for me. I'm
Right.
fly on the wall. Nobody really looking for me. I know some pretty um, popular people who've done some things at some high levels, and I was just always in a wing, and that was my spot. I just like to cruise and chill and be cool. And then all of a sudden, my world just flipped, and now, my life is. I still like to be private, but it's somewhat public just based on what I do. And once you're in the public, there's a different expectation. And so now people don't even know I'm from here.
Understand.
They like, you don't even talk like you from where?
Right.
You from down? Really, sir? Nah. But when they start fact checking, it's like, no, he was.
Yeah.
No, that's. Yeah, you got to know.
Same here.
And so, but I look back now and it's like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how significant it was. I was just moving, and now I gotta like backtrack and actually write down the things that I did and realize how some things that I made it out of, some situations I made out of, some people crumble. And I never stopped. I just kept going, never looked back. And now I understand the importance of revisiting those times so that I can tell somebody who might be in that same jam, might be in that same rut, like, bro, just keep going.
Right.
I was right where you are. I've been there. Keep going. How can I help? Or sometimes it's not for me to help.
That's right.
Sometimes you just got to fight through it. And I got to be okay with just watching you fight through it because that struggle is what's going to build that strength that you need for any other, situation that's going to rise.
Right. Let me ask you this. "15 years ago, if someone had told you that you was going to have this nice office space, you in front of a camera doing a podcast was going to be your thing, knowing where you come from, knowing the struggles that you made it through, if someone had came up to you and told you, hey, man, in 15 years, I see this in your future, how'd you handle that?
I can't even say I would believe that. I honestly can't say I believe it. One, I'm not even a talker. Let me stop putting those words on me.
Right.
I didn't consider myself to be a talker.
Understand.
I was just out the way, bro. And then to divulge and share myself with a bunch of people at one time, like, nah, bro. I was in a dark space too. Like, life didn't work how I wanted it to work at that time.
Right. Right.
So I was still trying to figure stuff out.
It wasn't your season.
Nah.
It wasn't your season.
No.
And we all have been through that. You got to weather the storm.
Word.
And you have. And you'll continue.
Yeah.
I told you. I mean, I appreciate you giving me my flowers and the the hell of an introduction. I appreciate it. But brother, I've been telling you this since the day I met you and we started rapping. You that guy. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's him. He's him." You are him. And we've had conversations that can be saved for another reel, another moment, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
So and I know. So yeah, man. A lot of time people don't find their purpose, and those who don't continue to look for it, it's not a good thing. I don't care how old you get. Stay a sponge.
Mhm.
Stay open. Stay willing to learn new stuff. Find your voice.
Mm.
Find your voice, and make it strong.
Yeah.
Be heard. And the same thing. This goes to everybody, especially my young people. The same thing you do in public, the good. I need you to do that in private. Everything don't have to be a viral moment. If you want to give somebody some money, you ain't got to have the cameras on. If it's genuine, do your part. I get it. Everybody wants the likes and the clicks and all that. But I know from him, you do a lot of things behind the scene and you don't look for no pat on the back. You know, I seen the movement. I've seen you get busy. I seen your house full of sneakers that you giving kids. You know, and man, shit, sneakers a big deal with some kids, man.
Life
And
changing.
and yeah, and I've seen kids' eyes light up from a pair of sneakers you've presented to someone who their parents just didn't have it to give.
Word.
You dig? So yeah, man. So 15 years ago, if I had came and told you that, I know you wouldn't have believed it. But it's something I saw in you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's just keep doing it.
Yeah, man. That's y'all be burning me here.
But it's a good thing. This goes back to being vulnerable, being open, and accepting those good things that you do. And I know you don't do it for a pat on the back. I know it.
Yeah.
You do it. You don't want others to have to go through what you went through. So you try to smooth the road out for them.
It's a boost. Trying to boost.
Yeah, man, and that's dope. I had someone ask me, Mark, why haven't you started the podcast? What's the hold up? You scared of people analyzing you more, or criticizing you, the way you look, the way you talk? And I was like, man, I was thinking because I was working my ass off and just didn't have the time. But a lot of that has a part to do with it too. Because once you start putting yourself out there like this, it's an open for criticism. It's open for people not to like you and don't know you. So I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that's not impressed with what I want to do with Peace Party People podcast, and that's cool.
Absolutely.
But for that one person that digs it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you everything I got, Jack,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be me, and that's all I can be is me.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody else is taken. I can't be Mr. Diggs. I got to be Mr. West,
Word.
and I'm gonna give you that.
Word. And that's what it's all about. We have this tendency to default to the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who's somebody gonna hate on this? Man, what about the person who's sitting here waiting for this song?
Mm-hmm.
Again, be a father to your child.
Mm-hmm.
When that dude was setting out to make this song, I don't think he knew that would land on you and change the way that you shaped your world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give that man that credit. I don't know who he is today, but if he could know the impact of him was sitting in his bedroom writing those lyrics down, building the courage to project
Mm-hmm.
in a microphone on a booth and going through the whole process to
Mm-hmm.
get that song to you so that it can change your whole world. That's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
That's real powerful. And we gotta look through the noise, see our way through the noise of all the naysayers, and get to that one person where that message gonna resonate and change the world.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this about that song. I sent it to my son. He's 27, and we talked about it. And his whole thing was, Pop. He was saying some good stuff, but that was back then. These young ladies today, they ain't bringing nothing to the table, and they whores, and they having freak offs, and they doing this, and I'm like, the young ladies of today aren't doing anything young ladies weren't doing in the 90s. We just didn't have the internet. We didn't have camera phones everywhere. We had some freaks. We had some hoes. You know what I'm saying? So the young ladies of today aren't doing anything that women that don't want to do right haven't been doing. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The message was more telling the man to be respectful. If you laid with this woman, whether it was for a second or not, y'all got a child together. Do what you're supposed to do for your child. Even if it didn't go right with the young lady,
Mm-hmm.
you continue to be a father to your child. I lived that experience. It didn't go accordingly, but I've never strayed away from my obligations of being a father
Mm-hmm.
to my child. So that was the impact that it had on me. And it was a part in the song where he spoke on, if another man comes into that child's life, don't be that type of dude that's all in an uproar. I want to see my son and don't have no man around my son or my daughter. If you not doing nothing, don't intervene with what this man is doing for your son or daughter. Fall back. So I I I reeled that in too. I'm like, okay, that's what it is. But nobody could ever take the place of me with mine, even though me and their mother didn't take it to the next level. Nobody could ever take the place of mine, my position with my children, because I am him
Word.
with them,
Word.
so yeah.
And that's one area in life that, man, we could be wrong about a lot of stuff. You might not be that guy, but when it comes to your offspring, you are their everything. Like I I look at man like, bro, like I know without a shadow of doubt, bro, you can't find a better daddy. You
Dog, you the greatest man in their life.
word.
You the
Word.
greatest man in their life.
Word. And people gotta, I know I don't want to be blasphemous, but I'm like, man, this God level stuff, like,
Better bet it.
bruh, you don't get better than this in this world.
That's
And
right.
and I gotta show them at every turn, man.
Mm.
Right or wrong,
Mm.
indifferent, whatever. But I'm him. I'm
You
so
him.
confident on that.
Yes.
On that, can't nobody tell me nothing. Like I
Right.
go to war for that. I kill. I lay down for that. Like
Right.
all of that. Like and ooh, that's a whole nother
I
thing.
know.
Yeah, that,
and I ain't gonna. I'm
yeah.
gonna leave it alone because um I've been asked like, well, how are you gonna tie fatherhood, youth development in the community into a podcast that is about hip hop? Well, all of it plays a part. I just gave you a nugget.
Yeah.
The hip hop song "Be a Father to Your Child" helped me along the way, and help others. So all of it's going to play a part. The youth development, the music has a lot to do with the youth development. The community, it has a lot to do with what the community is listening to. So it will all tie into hip hop, peace, the culture, the music, the fashion. It'll all tie in. I won't hold y'all long, but it's gonna tie in. And one thing I will never lack is that fatherhood. It's the greatest position I have held in these 52 years that I've been on this planet. There's no greater title that I've held than being a father. And I love it. I love it.
Damn, man.
I love it, and you can't take that from me. You could take anything. You could take my job. You could take anything you want from me. Hey, you want a good coach? Oh shit. I mean, hell, you want. I at one point I wanted to be an MC. Hey, you want good at that? Okay, shit. Hell, man, you thought you was my best friend, but you weren't my best friend. Oh shit. Okay, but you ask those three young men of mine,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, oh no, my pop wasn't perfect, but was he there? Every step of the way.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. So that's up here. You can't bring me down off of that high house.
Right.
So yeah, I gotta hear with that.
Yeah.
and that's for real on that. I love mine.
Yeah, man. Damn, what else? Where we going next, boy? I could go talk to you forever.
I
yo.
know, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you because I know you're my motivation. I told you what I wanted to do. You set this room up. I took my time. I looked around, and you was doing reels, and you started doing the podcast. And I said to my wife, I said, "Cuz ain't bullshitting. I gotta get on my shit."
Right.
And it's a good thing because if you had just had the equipment set up here and had the room sitting nice, and you was just doing your thing, it would still be here. But for me to get a text from you, and you've done your first show, and then I go on social media and I see your show, and I'm like, I know Cuz is doing his thing because it's sending me a message.
Yeah.
What you waiting on, man?
Yeah.
This ain't even my dream,
Word.
but I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
man.
That was there. I swear to God, I was like, I came in here one day. I'm walking past it every day. I'm like, damn, that shit just sitting right there. And I watched y'all mess with the mixer, and I did hit this one time. But yeah, that's all I know. That's the extent of what I know on this board. But it's a whole professional thing here. And I'm sitting here like, man, I'm gonna figure something out. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out. And so I got these fancy cameras. I don't know how to use the cameras yet, so all of this is on my phone.
Right,
So
right.
look, for anybody out here trying to do it, just do it.
Just get it started.
So I use the phone. I got some software editing, CapCut, whatever, just dropping the videos and massaging it, and I'm just putting it out. And I'm just like, man, this I thought it wasn't my thing until I sat in front of the camera, and then this was my out of body experience because I don't even like being on the camera for real. So I'm out of body when I'm looking at what was produced, and I'm like, oh shit, that's me. That's me talking. Like, that's a whole conversation. So these past interviews or conversation that we had, I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yeah,
that sounds so weird to say because I live with me every day, all day.
Right.
But I'm looking like, damn, I will watch that.
Right.
I would. Let me do another one.
Right.
And I found myself getting addicted.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say 15 years ago, did you think you would ever be here? Man, I just figured this out the other day.
See what I'm saying?
Just figured this out the other day. Like, and so now I'm like, I ain't Oprah or nothing yet. But I'm like, shoot, that was fun.
Yeah.
More than anything, like, it's going back to, like, just having fun.
Yeah.
And in a world where we inundated with so many other distractions, it's like, man, this my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like to talk. I ain't realized how much I like to talk and have conversations because I read some of everything. I'm analytical of everything that comes across. And my son say I talk too damn much.
You're chock full of information, brother.
Yeah.
You're chock full of information.
So now I'm sitting here like, oh, damn. Mark, hey, look at this, man. I figured out how to edit this.
Right.
Look, I took you and Moo was in here, and I just when I first did that was the first thing I did.
I remember.
And I'm listening to y'all talking. I'm like, yo, just keep going. And I put the cameras on and I started recording. And I took it to my office and I was like, I'm gonna figure this shit out. And when I figured out, oh, damn, this how you do that. And I shot it to him. I'm like, oh, here we go, y'all.
Yeah.
Here we go. And once I figured that shit out, I'm gonna do this shit myself.
You know, It's a beautiful thing when it comes together.
Yeah.
Trial and error. You know, have your moments. But when it comes together, it's beautiful. So me coming in here, doing my verbal calisthenics, playing with the camera, playing with the microphones and whatnot, but didn't want to put anything out because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready for it to be out. And here comes Brandon, and he says, "Cause I want to get you on my joint. I want a conversation with you." And the light went off in my head. That's how I'm going to slide into this thing.
Let's go.
He,
Let's go.
he done already threw the alley-oop with the room and setting it up. Now he's giving me a diving board to dive right into the pool.
Let's go.
So I came to the pool party today.
Let's go.
I came to the pool party today. So I'm gonna dive off this board today, and I'm gonna hit that water and I'm gonna swim.
Go.
So I'm excited, and this has been a blessing to get up this morning and come in here and put this thing down, because I knew when you said, "Cause I'm shooting today," I gotta be there, and I appreciate it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I hope people are looking forward to it, because it's gonna be something. We gonna have some exciting things going on,
and people don't even know.
right?
They don't know, but look, man, I'm excited for your thing because I'm always one to tune into a form. I started doing walking this week, right?
Okay.
Because I can't run like I used to, so
Okay.
I walk. And so I dove into the Nas latest joints, the King's Disease and Magic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm walking and listening and walking and listening. I'm like, is anybody even listening to Nas today? I think I'm the only person.
No,
that's
you're
listening. But I don't. The dialogue's on there because it's like so much stuff that's packed
Mm-hmm.
in these two series,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's pertaining to where we are in life right now, as far as being, the elders, the leaders of the new school.
So that's mature rap. That's
Right.
mature hip hop. Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
that's being put out, and it's like this the blueprint.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
it. Yo, let's start getting on this, like, or let's start understanding what happened to us
Mm-hmm.
to put us right here. And now we understand what happens. That's when I developed that whole. A lot of these one-liners. It's from my internalization of his lyrics.
Okay.
So when I internalize something and I just jump on Facebook and I hit with like a one-liner, like boom, 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 it's coming from what I get from this. So on my walks, I'm just like, and this. I was like, man, I didn't hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear this. And walking, yo, this is bring the physical fitness aspect of our world together too.
Mm-hmm.
Walking puts us in a flow state.
Mm.
You know, we're thinking about getting in shape. You want to start running and you want to beat the street and you're sore and it's taking you off your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But walking is almost effortless.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are walking and you put something on that you want to focus on, oh man, ideas start flowing. So, yo, take some time out for yourself.
Right.
20 minutes, 30 minutes. Go on a little walk. Get you some headphones. Listen to your podcast. Peace Party People coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Put on something and an audio book and get in the flow state and let those ideas, that critical thinking, that creative ability, we all got it.
Open it up.
Open it up.
Mm-hmm.
See, I understand like the dynamic of a book. Somebody might open a book and you don't have the attention span. Like all of this stuff is this by design. The reason why we can't stay focused on a book is because we are inundated. I'm gonna keep using it. That puts so much information and distractions in front of us, and you have a 5 to 7 second time period to get a hook.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not hooked, they off to the next thing.
Right.
Get in that flow state and focus on you. Walk. Understand why you're doing it. It's for your longevity. It's for your health. It's for building your future. It's for that foundation. This is for legacy.
Right.
This is all of that. But it starts with like your ability to focus that energy back to yourself.
Right.
And walking allowed me to do that. But man, I say all that to say, like, I'm looking forward to discussions because it does all tie in together. together.
Mm-hmm.
And that creativity is still there, and we have to. I think what your platform will do will show the value that has been discounted.
Right.
The value right now is just sexual promiscuity and just hypersexuality.
Right.
That's what's going on now,
Right.
and we are sex sales,
Mm-hmm.
sex sales.
Yeah.
But that art piece, man, I ain't not trying to hear that. There are people trying to hear it.
They are.
There are a lot of people trying to hear it. The problem is the people that want to hear it. Me being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We found our little nook. We got comfortable hiding under a rock
Mm-hmm.
and being in our own little space.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are at a state where this state of emergency, we can't afford to sit back no more.
Facts.
We can't afford to just hide and let this stuff keep going on.
Facts.
Like, as an MLK quote, and I be messing these quotes up, but I know it was something along the line like
we gonna get them right. I thought about that today. I said, I'm gonna start writing some of these quotes down,
Right.
and I'm gonna have them posted so when I say them, I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's something, but it's along the lines of like, in order for evil to prevail,
Mm-hmm.
all it takes is for good men to do nothing,
Mm.
and that's where we at. It's a lot of good people.
Man, say that again.
In order for evil to prevail,
Mm-hmm.
it just takes good people to do nothing.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
and good people just been sitting back and just watching, waiting for something to change. Nothing changes if we don't.
Right, and you allow evil,
Yeah,
the bullshit,
just take over.
take over because
We ain't saying nothing.
we ain't saying nothing, and that's what's happening in hip hop.
Yep.
That's what's happening in hip hop. You've had a couple good MCs trying to drop something, but they get washed out because the evil is so powerful and it's appealing. And um, I don't want to get too much into it because I'll save it for mine. But Common and Pete Rock has something coming out. Ghostface just dropped something. Hell. LL just dropped something the other day, and a lot of y'all might not be on it, but I'm telling you right now, Q-Tip did the production. The track is crazy. It's L, Ross, and Fat Joe. A lot of y'all might not dig it, but I'm telling you, for those who do, go check it out. I think it's called Saturday Night Special. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's that, and that's that nostalgia, bro.
Yeah.
And like,
And they didn't make that. Trust me when I tell you, Pete Rock and Common, Ghostface, LL, they're not dropping songs today for the youth.
nah,
It's for us.
yeah,
It's for us.
yeah,
So these podcasts is not to grab the youth. I'm gonna try to appeal to them and bring them in. But I know there's some people my age, my cousin's age, they want to hear something different besides all the other stuff that's going on. So this goes back to about the hip hop not being dead. You got cats still trying to keep it on the life support. I'm telling y'all, that fucking track Q-Tip did for L is fucking crazy. I'm telling you.
yeah. So this, I think like this the connections. Going back to that statement I made about origins and understanding. I think the kids are so disconnected because of the language. The language is dynamic in hip hop. Shit, every day it's a new something, and the word hot, fat, cold. All they mean, the meanings, and this is why they can't nail us down. Because as soon as somebody think they know it, they don't know shit. And now it's got to a point where, man, I know what the kids say. I just choose not to say it because I feel like I'm too old for that.
You unk.
Yeah.
You unk now.
I ain't walking around here pausing every 2 seconds, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get all that. And the dynamic, they need to understand the origins of it.
Right.
And when you understand where you come from, you have a better idea where you're going. And since they don't really understand the origins of hip hop right now,
Right.
they can't understand how they've been taken off the path.
Right.
And what the overarching thing is.
And for me, for some of these young people who get into the music industry, for the life of me, I don't know why you're not doing your homework. I don't know why you don't know who Rakim is. I don't know why you know, I don't know. I mean,
You want to know why? You want to know why?
yeah, because well, yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why.
give me your give it to me.
When you say doing your homework,
Mm-hmm.
the kids don't do homework anymore.
Facts.
School does not put them in a position where they should even do a book report. They don't know how to research.
Right.
They don't understand the importance of any of that. That stuff has been stripped from the curriculum.
Right.
So when they're looking at something they like, they're not going to dive into the history because history's power.
Right.
The history of hip hop, 50 years?
Yeah.
They can go back and be like, hold on, these people still alive.
Right.
Let me go
Right.
get a little bit of inspiration from
Right.
these.
Right.
Now I'm going to start. No, I'm not going
Right.
to teach you how to do a research paper.
Mhm.
I'm not going to teach you any of that stuff that's going to serve you in a better capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no conspiracy theorist, man. I'm just calling it what it is, bro.
I like that. I like that.
They don't do no homework because they don't do homework.
Right. So it's not in them. And I was just saying, it would be necessary. Just as a young man playing basketball, I would suggest to him, hey man, go back a little further. Go past Jordan and just see, what it was, how it became. Check Jordan, check Kobe. Don't let it just start with Ja Morant. You know, football, same thing. You want to be a running back, you need to go back. And I know it may be like Jim Brown. Yeah, go check Jim Brown out. Check Burry, check Walter Payton. Bring it up. Don't just think all running backs started with Saquon Barkley. So I get it though. You're absolutely right. They're taking a lot of things out of the schools for the young men and young women. So it just go instant pudding. Just go back to that. When I was in school, if your assignment was late, your assignment was late. If you was a good student, good character, marking periods about to end, you probably could go to that teacher and say, hey, look, I've been messing around, I messed up. Okay, I'm going to give you opportunity to get it right. But if you was one of those kids who just like, man, fuck it, I ain't going to do it, you didn't get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Well, today, those kids that be like, fuck it, doing the first 8 weeks of school or that semester, when it's time to turn them grades in, they even get an opportunity to get it right. And that's bullshit. You're setting them up for failure. You're setting them up for failure. But that's the way of the world. That's the way of the school system today that we have, because I know kids who bullshit in school and still find themselves with B's and C's, just enough to get out.
And we talked about accountability earlier.
Accountability.
Whose children are those? Let's just ask that question. Whose children? Are they the teacher's children? Are they the principals, the school board, the mayor, the governor, the president? Are these their children? No.
Mm-mm.
So why is your child's education? Why should your child's education be more important to them than it is for you
as a parent?
And we don't even sit down to think, to have that critical conversation with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody else's responsibility.
Yeah.
Your child's future, securing that. Yeah, ultimately it's your child's, but we got to help a hand in that. We sent for them.
Right.
We're governing them, and we need to be smarter of the world that's going on around them. Nobody's taking responsibility. Nobody wants to be held accountable for your child's progression.
Right.
And since I don't know, our system has woke up to that. Our teachers aren't being compensated properly. The system itself is antiquated. It doesn't serve us. We see all of these things, but whose job is it to fix it? Crickets. Like, crickets.
Yeah.
It's ours. The power always with the people. What we say goes collectively, but since we are again divided, I digress.
Right.
I digress.
That division is, man, that thing is decades upon decades upon decades upon
And
decades.
this why we gotta get to the origin.
Yeah.
I ask people, it's 5 levels of wise, man.
Mhm.
And I had such an interesting conversation with guys. He used to be my AC tech.
Mhm.
Used to be because there's some things, man. I just can't accept.
Right.
And you know, we ain't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. My boy couldn't understand that concept,
Right.
and he was more so just hung up on the fact that no, y'all like to do black people like to do this, black people like to do that. That's why they in the situation they in, and it's like, man, how? Let's just walk it back a generation. You said 10 years. Let's walk it back
Okay.
9. Let's. I like the 90s. I'm a 90s, 80s, but
Yeah.
90s. What's going on? Oh man, we see 3 strike rule hitting.
Mhm.
We see guns, drugs, guns,
Crack era.
all of this. Walking back a decade, the 80s.
Mhm.
That's when it's like going crazy.
Mhm.
Introduce how to get here.
Mhm.
We don't own no boats, no gun stores, no
Mhm.
nothing. But how the hell is this starting to increase? Going back to the 70s.
Mm.
Hey, we looking at get these fools out of our houses.
Mhm.
Let's put these subsidized housing in place. Let's divide the family up.
Mhm.
And you just 60s.
Mhm.
Oh, we will overcome. Let's Jim Crow,
Mhm.
all of this, separate but equal.
Fighting for civil rights.
And you just keep walking it back, and it's like, damn. You go back to the 50s, the 40s,
Mhm.
World War II.
Mhm.
We want to be a part of the military. We can only get certain jobs. We
Right.
can't do anything. But now that I serve my country, I want to go use my VA loan. I can't use it.
Mm-mm.
Why? Because you can't buy in this neighborhood.
Right.
Because this deed says this is allowed.
Yeah.
Take it back to the 30s. Oh, we got the New Deal.
Mhm.
This is to restore the economic structure of the government. We're going to give government back low interest rates loans to people
Mhm.
who don't look like me.
Right.
But hey, I ain't forgot about you. We gonna put these projects together. That's where the term projects come from.
Mhm.
Check it out.
Mhm.
Well, we can put these projects together. Y'all can live there. We'll give y'all houses. This is mountains and mountains and mountains of stuff.
Yeah.
Go to the 20s. Man, I could keep on going because I study this. This
Yeah.
is what I do for real.
Right.
And you see your Wall Streets and everything's ramping up in a time where they said this is the Great Depression.
Mhm.
How is it going backwards, but it's going up for some people?
Mhm.
Study your history. Understand what's going on.
Understand where you come from.
Right.
Understand why the conditions are the way they are. When you break it down like that and you go back, you'll understand. And it's not gonna that cycle is not gonna be broken overnight. It's gonna take more than me and B. Collectively, it's gonna take all of us.
Be
And
conscious.
I may not be here when it happened, but I want to leave some type of mark, some type of imprint, impact on my people. That's my goal in life. The rest of the way,
Right.
I just at some point we gotta come out the mud and understand. There's nowhere in the world we can get to where we want to go and try to make shit right if we don't know where the fuck we coming from
Mm-hmm.
and why the conditions are
Mm-hmm.
the way they are. The system has been set up to always keep us down.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my sons, I don't, you don't want to blame the other man, because you the brother man, so you got to figure out how you can make things work for you, and that's what goes back to what I said about starting in your circle, starting in the circle, building the circle up, and making it strong, and hoping that those people in your circle, when they go out in the field, using military tactics here, they go out in the field and they they can spread the word and they can give off that good energy that you gave them at home, and they can help, and then they become a circle, and it's pods, and you just hope it
Mm-hmm.
spreads out. But you have to go back to the reason why things are the way they are today.
For sure. And I like to let me expand on that other man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's explain this other man because, like, again, these propaganda, these mediums for propaganda, they want you to believe that other man is white.
Right.
Eh, that wedge they driven between the people is this black and white thing, and they rode the shit out of that. The real thing is the haves and the have-nots. There are a lot of white people who struggle, and so the reason why we go back and forth is because there's some white people who are not well off in this damn country. The advantages they face, they can't really see them as advantages because they still poor too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we look at them and say you got privilege, that infuriates some people because they looking at their situation as fucked up too.
Yeah, they ain't benefited off of this privilege.
Right.
Right.
So let's call that man out. That man ain't just that white man.
That's right.
Some of them in the same damn jam, not the same jams because ours is different,
Mm-hmm.
but struggle is struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that. And some of them in a struggle too.
Yeah.
The man we talking about is that man who controlling everything. That man that's gonna tell you that you lazy when you working 3 fucking jobs. That you ain't doing nothing when you trying to take care of your family, take care of your kids, work 3 jobs, get them to sports. They gonna tell you lazy.
Mm-hmm.
This infatuation with everybody thinking that we're gonna get everything passively. Because that's the system they've designed. They designed that system for them.
Mm-hmm.
So these corporations who will take money out of your communities and not put anything back, they owe that shit to you. They do. So when your son team needs some new jerseys, but they buying at the Walmart and the Walmart can't put shit back, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we link and say, you know what? The money that we work, it's supposed to be reciprocated. It's a cycle. The money's supposed to be cycled back into the community. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this. You pass it here. You shot with me. You shot with me, and we gonna take care of each other. It's an ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
But we get ours and we give it, and that shit don't ever come back. And so when you look at these corporations, we so quick to run to corporations, and we don't want to pay the extra that's required by the mom and pop because they can't get everything in high volume.
Right.
They paying at cost damn near for the stuff they getting. So they got to charge that money just to make a profit. We look past them and we go back to the same corporation who ain't putting shit back in our communities. And that's why we wonder why we don't have a basketball court. We don't have a playground. We don't have nothing because they don't care. It's not their responsibility.
There's no one standing up. And I could be wrong, but there's no one standing up to them and asking them, hey, man, you coming into our community. What can you do to help the youth?
For sure.
Yeah, you know.
Because the nature of a taker is to continue to take.
Yeah.
They coming in to take.
Yeah.
They not looking to give nothing, especially if you ain't asking.
Facts.
If you not, then I don't even know what the ask look like. Maybe the ask is everybody that shops in that store saying, hey, we need to see something.
Right.
Maybe that's the ask. So how do we unite? How do we unify? These are the real questions that we got to ask ourselves, and we got to be intentional about it. But yeah, when these corporations set up in our community, it is rooted in the whole. I was telling you about the black man in the hat, the white is right, that your business is better than mine because it's bigger, because it has a name, it's more renowned, that branding is bigger. And yeah, we gotta shake that. We gotta understand the losses as long as there's some form of progression.
Right.
Like, yeah, man, you cost a little more, but I believe in what you're doing. What can we do to help make you better so we can start seeing these incremental steps of progression? And then those people who that we give that boost, give them people that boost to get up out, are making a way, dropping some crumbs, leaving a way for somebody else to follow suit. That has to be our level of expectation when we doing business. This is economics 101 for us.
again, I hate to circle the wagon.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Damn.
Go
No,
listen to Shut 'Em Down by Public Enemy.
uh,
Go listen to Shut 'Em Down by Public Enemy. I can't quote it right now because I got a lot of stuff on my mind, but Chuck said, I like Nikes, but wait a minute. Something about the hood. And, he's just like, yo, fuck them. Shut them down. Nike coming into your hood and doing this, doing that, but they not putting into the hood. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down.
dang.
So I'm telling you, hip hop plays a part in all this. All of this. Everything Brandon just said. I'm sitting here and I hear Chuck D in my head. We got to shut him down.
Yo.
We got to shut him down. So it's.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's the history we need, Bob.
Yeah.
I know it because it's in me.
Yep.
It's in me, and I ain't just a rebellious person for the sake of being rebellious. It's like I
Mhm.
can see a better way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this ain't going right, man. And I know I like that young man still in me who got all that fire, but it's like I know now I just can't walk in everybody's room and kick over tables.
That's it. That's you ain't getting nothing accomplished.
Right.
And now with the maturity, with the experience that you have on you, you have to be at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in and you listen before you speak, so you can see what's going on. And my grandmother used to have a saying, you kill more bees with honey than you do vinegar. So when you go in there with your honey, you're going to get something. But if you go in there with that vinegar, kicking tables over, with that fire, with that, you don't get nothing.
Yeah.
Your message, it gets thrown out because all they see is an aggressive black man. So you kill more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
Damn. So are you saying that
Mhm.
this I haven't done any investigating on it.
Okay.
But the Versus platform.
Okay.
See that? Swiss is
Timberland and Swiss. Yes.
So the latest thing was them partnering or selling
They supposedly it's partnered with someone or sold it. I forgot who they did it with.
Elon Musk.
Okay. Yeah, I saw them posing on Twitter the other day, or X the other day.
X, yeah,
Mhm.
Juneteenth, and I guess the people up in arms or question or just like, man, what's up? Because of Elon Musk's recent stance on DEI, diversion and equity and inclusion, like for all that, and not acknowledging the playing field is not level. But he like, I don't care. We need to get rid of those opportunities that I probably would have never been afforded to get certain places. And it's like, man, I do understand. Like I directly benefited from that, and that was the crack that allowed the rose to grow from the concrete. So looking at that partnership, so it's kind of dicey. I'm just kind of just curious, and they just like, oh, you just gotta wait to see. But surface level, partnering with somebody who just on the surface.
I got to do my research on that.
Yeah.
But what I will say, I get it. When millionaires, they build their business, they don't stay long. They move on. They sell it. They move on. I get it. That's the way of the world. Excuse me. But for Swiss and Tim to even allow someone to come in partnership with them, I don't know the whole details about that, but for me, as a hip hop fan, don't start fucking the coach up with bringing in everybody in, man. That's all I'm saying, dog. I don't know why you needed to partner with him, because during the pandemic, y'all was on the rise. Crazy. Maybe some of the battles, maybe the contestants, the MCs versus whoever might not appeal to everybody, but
it was still a platform.
It's still our platform. R&B, hip hop, whatever. It's our platform. Don't bring nobody else in to benefit off of our platform that don't have shit to contribute. Fuck the money. Fuck. I'm talking the art. You know, and Busta Rhymes said it years ago. Hip hop is the only genre of music that have made more millionaires off of it who don't even like the fucking art form.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
That really don't contribute to the art form. They're not MCs, they're not writers, they're not producers. They're sitting in the fucking office and they're capitalizing. They're capitalizing off of the drama of black people, of our culture. So, yeah, I'll do my research on that before I really get into it. But I know I don't like the fact that y'all had something good. You felt you needed this billionaire to come in and do whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the part. So that was Cameron spoke on the difference with the Nas and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he was like, Nas loved this hip hop shit.
Yeah, Jay like it.
Jay like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. Again, Jay, like, I don't have that level. I ain't got that level of money. I'm in my shit right now. But
let me say this.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion. When Cam said that, I thought it long time ago. Not in that way, love. Like Jay did it for the money. Nas did it for the culture.
Right.
Not to saying Jay's not hip hop. I love Jay-Z. But Nas is everything we talk about when we talk about the culture of hip hop.
Right.
To me.
Right. Right.
In 93, when I knew he was getting ready to drop Illmatic, I had heard him prior to that live at the barbecue with Main Source, Large Professor. I made it my business to go to New York. I was going to buy that album in New York. I wasn't going to wait for it to trickle down to Virginia.
Yeah.
I was going to buy that in New York. And I went to New York. And I heard at the time, I don't know, I don't remember we was calling them mixtapes or whatever, but I remember being with some partners of mine and they were playing different songs that I hadn't heard from Nas. I had already heard Halftime. But when I heard It Ain't Hard to Tell, when I heard Represent, I was like,
yo,
this shit
yo
is fucking crazy. Who is this young man? That's all I wanted to know. And I was in New York and I was hanging out with some guys and we was doing, and I was WBLS. I was in my friend's house and I was recording all of this shit on the tape. Because when I got back to Newport News, Virginia, I was gonna blow some minds. Because this young man, he was everything to us when at that time. Because he was like, oh, this nigga is bringing it.
Yeah.
And he had the fatigue jacket on with the
Yeah. The uniform.
Right. So I always thought Jay, he got in this thing. He was nice. He got that money. He had other plans. Nas, coming from Queensbridge, with the standard of cats before him. Shan. See, Shan was everything to Nas and them, coming out of Queensbridge. Shantae.
Yeah.
You dig?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That was his people.
Yeah, so he had to stand. When I come through, I gotta be nice. Rakim had already set the standard. We looked at Nas as the second coming of the God MC.
Yeah.
So the standard was set. I gotta be nice like that. Nas was the culture, and still is, because Nas ain't putting music out. I'm not saying he's not getting paid and he don't want the bread, but Nas ain't putting music out just for the check. He's doing it for the culture, dog. Letting you know I still got this. Jay I don't, I don't have anything to say. I mean, y'all don't want to hear an old man like me rap. Yeah, you got some fans that want to hear you spit. You ain't got to spit that braggadocious shit. Nas ain't, but he's telling you some things. He's dropping jewels. You've done it before.
Yeah.
You just caught some bad reviews, so now you worried about people thinking you done lost that mystique. Nas don't give a shit about that because Nas is Nas. Nas is not a character.
Right.
And when you are you,
Damn.
you don't have to put a show on.
Damn.
You are who you are. And I love Jay.
Yeah.
But that character.
Identity issue right now.
Huh?
That identity issue.
You goddamn right. So. Well, yeah, man.
Damn. No, that's real. That's real. And that's why, like, you're right. People want to hear more about Jay. Jay, live your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people who, like, I follow Nas the whole time, and I'm still listening. As I'm growing through life,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and when Nas say some shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm still on my boy heels. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still walking the path.
Yeah.
Jay, you led a whole lot of dudes down this path, and you just cut the water off.
Mm-hmm.
And now dudes like, well, what I do next? Like,
Right.
where the new message at?
Right.
Because all his messages,
Yeah.
it was so many messages, and it was just like, you just dropped them off, and now people don't know how to dream.
Right.
They don't know how to, like, formulate their own thoughts to see what they want to see. And so when Jay cut them off, now everybody diverted to Instagram.
Right.
And they want to live these
Right.
dreams. And the way Nas still writing today, it's like, man, I was always on the heels of that. So
Mhm.
my progression was that. But when I sit back and I look at my life and where I was, and I won't ever know street stuff, but like Nas, I liked his story because he never glorified him doing anything. It was always
Stories.
stories, anecdotes. And I could appreciate that because I was like, I won't ever on the street. Shit, I was on a porch. I might have been on the curb a little bit,
Right.
but I ain't never get in the street.
Right.
But I could see people, and I could see how these stories relate.
But you do know, even though you didn't get in the streets, you're from the hood.
Right.
You're from that. You're a product of that.
Right.
You
It's a
just
different-
told right. Yeah.
Different perspective.
Right.
And it's like, it's layers to this. We ain't all just one way.
Right. Could it be said that Nas is the working man MC for the working man,
Yeah.
and Jay's a little bit more glorified
The hustler.
the hustler,
Yeah.
you know, the shiny thing
Yeah.
that come with it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
we on okay,
Absolutely that.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say, man, that stuff won't enamoring.
mm-hmm.
I just ain't have a jealous bone in my body. Like, I didn't know I was poor in the hood. You
Right.
know what I mean?
No doubt, none of us did
So
until you ventured out and started seeing motherfuckers with that's a cordless phone. You got a TV in your room? What? Yeah, that's how it was for us.
I didn't know I was poor until I went to college.
Okay,
I swear to God, I didn't know I was poor until I went to college. I always had everything I needed
right.
and wanted for the
Right.
I didn't even know how to, again, dream.
That's a testament to your mother.
Yeah.
That's a testament to your mother, and being raised by my mother and my grandmother, always had everything I needed, and the sprinkles of what I wanted was there.
Right.
I never had a piss poor Christmas.
Mhm.
I never had a piss poor first day going to school. All my clothes was laid. Never went to school dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this quick story right quick. My grandmother, God rest her soul, I love her. I miss her terrible. I remember since in the 80s, early 80s, I wanted a pair of shell-toe Adidas so bad. So bad. And a lot of the older teenagers, they were wearing the Adidas suits and the Kangos and the Gazelles, and we were breakdancing and stuff, you know. And I say this too, I'm going to get back to that. I told a friend of ours, both ours, babe, I wasn't the greatest football player. I played regularly. I wasn't the greatest basketball player. I played rarely. All I wanted to do back then was be the greatest dancer.
Who's that?
I know it sounds crazy, but that's all I ever wanted to be at that time in life. I wanted to be the greatest fucking dancer there was. So break dancing, that came about 6th grade. But
Yeah.
prior to that Michael Jackson thing, I killed it. But back to the shoes. So I told my grandmother I wanted a pair of shell toe Adidas, and at the time, you know, we ain't have it like that. So my grandmother went and got me, and I told her I wanted it was some burgundy ones, and she went and got me some burgundy shoes. And I got home from school, and I opened the box, and they weren't shell toe, but they were burgundy and they were suede,
Oh,
and they had 5 stripes.
K-Swiss?
No, they weren't K-Swiss. They were called Jocks. So, but here I am. I asked for them. I don't know how much they were back then. My grandmother, I don't think my grandmother really, shell toe Adidas. I don't think my grandmother really. She knew I wanted a pair of shoes. She got me a pair of shoes. So I opened the box. Boom! I see these burgundy suede joints, and as I'm flipping the tissue paper back, I see the stripes. I'm like, oh, I ain't even worried about the shell toe now because I'm like, I ain't shell toe, but I got me some burgundy suede Adidas. And as I ripped past that 3rd stripe, wait a minute, there's a stripe. Shit, there's another one. Damn, these ain't Adidas. Nevertheless, I went on ahead and I took them shoes out. And I wore them damn shoes everywhere. And I would take my pants and make sure they were pulled all the way down over them last 2 stripes. And true story. Nobody ever came up to me and asked me to lift my pants leg up. No one. And maybe because everybody was in the same fucking boat. I don't know. But I never said, Grandma, I don't want these, or these shoes is whack. I never did that. I wore those shoes proudly. And I'm glad I did. It set the tone for a lot of things. Because I honestly could tell you that, like I said, I had everything I needed. I wasn't barefooted. It wasn't the Adidas, but I wasn't barefooted. And I appreciate that. Today, I can tell you I honestly appreciated that. So,
Damn.
yeah.
Damn. And that's heavy perspective, man, because my era, boy, we was relentless. Oh, God, boy. You there was some real pressure.
Yeah,
There
I
was some
believe you.
pressure.
I believe you.
Pressure. And we did it to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like your homeboys was gonna do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Not nobody else. Your homeboys was gonna smoke you. So that was part of, like, I never experienced that. And my mom kept that off of me. And I think that was a part of her way of protecting me.
Yeah.
In the projects.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody could ever come to me on that level. I ain't have a big brother.
Right.
Yeah, my daddy and them, but they can't stop me from getting my ass whooped from a 13-year-old. You know what I mean? So,
Facts.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that was her way of protecting me. So I was guarded, and to where, and I wasn't a kid with a lot of wants either.
Understand?
Like, so I didn't drive my mama to the point. I was like, I didn't have Jordans, but I had nice shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Jordans was just the $100 shoe. We weren't in that game.
Right.
I bought those when I started working myself.
Right.
But she protected us that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so me making it all the way to school, and just, let me just say, looking at the environment I was in, I knew what the bottom looked like, and I want that.
Right.
So I thought I was middle class.
Understand?
Yeah, I thought I was well off. Like, it was them niggas.
And it wasn't for you to know the struggles that your mom went through.
Right.
She wasn't gonna put that on you. She was gonna carry that load. She was gonna make sure. Yeah, you goddamn right it was. You goddamn right. Think about, that was what, 80s? That was in the 80s and 90s?
80s and 90s.
Okay, so think about the 70s. 70, 77 on out. because I was born in '71, so my mom and everything. Yeah. Um, I didn't know I I didn't even look at it as middle class. I didn't look at me as poor. I don't think I classified as nothing at that time growing up. Like I said, I didn't realize until I started venturing out and going over other people's houses because I stayed. My grandmother moved from Ridley Circle when she got a job in the shipyard, and we moved up 16th Street in the 1100 block. And shit, then you think you made it because yeah,
you in a house.
Yeah, you in the house, shit. But again, the load that them women carried to make sure that their children didn't go to bed hungry. And every story is not like you and I. Some mothers couldn't handle the pressure.
Right.
And some kids went to sleep with just sleep to eat.
Yeah.
So we are thankful. Love you, mama.
Right.
And yeah, so that load they carried was heavy. And I saw that. And I refused to be what my father was. He was a young man at 17 having a child. So I've had that conversation with him. Okay, that's what you did. You played adult games,
Right.
but you ain't wanna be the adult when it was time to be the adult. They ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna make sure I ain't going down that path.
Mm-hmm.
So, that load your mom carried, that load my mom carried, heavy load, man. But as children, we ain't suffer from it.
Nah.
And that's great, man.
Yeah.
They shouldn't had to do it, but they did it.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word. Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. And I was by myself. Your mom had 3.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
man. So yeah, big ups to cousin Sherry, man. Shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Word.
And just being shielded
Mm-hmm.
from that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just being under the radar.
Yeah.
So I say, man, I remember you. Do you remember me?
That's right.
Thing. I remember everybody, but I don't think people really know who I am.
Right.
And that's cool. I like that mystique.
What the popping bottles moment will come when those that might not remember you as that kid that stayed over in the corner and handled his business wasn't interacting with all the kids that was rah, rah, rah. That champagne popping moment will come when you continue to do what you do and this thing really jumps off and they be like, that's Brandon? Yeah, that's that kid from Ridley Circle.
I feel like I'm living that. I feel like I have been living that.
That's right.
I haven't acknowledged it.
Right.
But I feel like I've been living that.
That's right.
And it's the other thing that I want to touch on is like, again, why I'm so big on community and sticking together and why I am the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
Taking it back to my neighborhood, 12th Street, Ridley Circle.
Okay.
Man, it was community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was stuff going on, and there was 2 rows. You know the rows, you know the rows.
Mm-hmm.
2 rows of people, parents who like it was community governing. It won't. I'm gonna walk outside and I'm gonna cuss loud and do whatever because I'm gonna tell your mama. It was that.
Mm-hmm.
We had football games in the dirt. We had cookout. We had music turned up loud. It was everybody looking out. Hey man, you got some pancake mix. I got some syrup.
That's right.
It was that.
Come through.
It was that.
Mm-hmm.
And I left there when I was 15. And the moment I left, I knew that was the end. Like my soul knew. My soul. I swear I cried so bad, bro. My soul knew that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I've been on a quest to get back there since. And so I feel like the only way that I could do that was try to emulate the things that I seen growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so common for me. And my cousin Brian, he always he always championed what I've done in life, and he keep me grounded,
Mm-hmm.
and he helped me see things from a different perspective. Like, man, bro, you did you. He always said, man, you beat the ghetto, you beat the ghetto. Um, and I it took me some time to digest it, but he would always say it like, man, you doing it. But I'm like, man, I want to go back to this, and he was like, man, he understood where I was messed up at because he was like, the moment you left Brandon, the world changed. Like the whole world changed. He said, man, I seen people get killed. I seen people get shot. It was robberies. It was everything. He was like, when you left, it just started going down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was like, we used to cut through where the tennis center at now.
Yes. Yes.
That's it was the dirt hills and they had no trespassing signs and
Right.
all that. He was like, man, that was our path to get to the basketball court. But at that point in time, it was like the police was harassing everything down there. So you cut through there, you might get a trespassing charge.
Yeah, because the tennis center wasn't there. All that stuff had supposed to been they was supposed to been working on the tennis center. So they had poured dirt. Yeah, I remember all that.
All of that.
Yeah.
So you're getting harassed for the trespassing charges and all these little charges that would get you locked up, build a record,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Set the tone.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, man, when you left, all of that stuff just started happening. And then so that was, 16 to 18. And 18, I'm gone.
Right.
Naval Academy, they got me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Naval Academy was good for me because it didn't give me the latitude, the ability to come to and from. I like to say, not like to say, but I equated to being locked up
Right.
for 5 years. I was locked. I didn't have the ability to just move how I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
For those 5 years, I was stuck. And though I'm only 3 hours away, I lost connection with a lot of people that
Right.
the connection. I'm still cool with everybody. Like everybody got love for me. I got love for them. But the relationship,
life was lifing.
yeah. And so now I gone on this different journey, and the Naval Academy. This is one of America's most prestiged and esteemed universities.
That's right.
Public schools, probably number one on the charts. Check it.
Right.
But being there, and man, this is where like this was that connection, that hub, because my guys from Dallas, my guys from Toledo, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
L.A.
Mm-hmm.
We teamed up now,
Right.
and we came in with some numbers, but that place rigorous. So slowly but surely, we just start falling off, and a handful of us made it out of there. And and then once we got out, we get shotgunned all over the country.
Yeah.
So now, I'm serving in the Navy, and after traveling so far and going on this journey and accomplishing so many things, the hierarchy of the Navy, when you're an officer, you climb the ranks,
Right.
and the higher you climb, the lonelier it gets.
Mm.
So when you're going in there lonely already at the bottom, and you start to make rank and grow and grow and grow, you just get lonelier and lonelier.
Right.
So, I was fortunate enough to be stationed back home,
Okay.
and I'm not knocking the Navy for none of that. I understand, like, heavy is the head that wear a crown, and you got to put that space. So the Navy did give me those lessons, but the Navy also gave me some structure
Mm.
and how this chain of command, this hierarchy, this order works. And so now I'm trying to implement the same thing in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm applying it, but it's been years. But I started to see, like, I wanted to get back to where I was raised and where I was groomed. So that's where that whole community piece come from.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't just happen. And in order for me to implement what I want to see, everybody can't have access to me.
Right.
And so this is where we come back to your original thing with, like, oh, you can't save everybody.
Right.
And I'm thinking we just all gonna lock arms and we just gonna move forth and be married. And it's like people gonna look at you like you crazy. You can't do it.
Well, see, what you just said to me, I knew some of your story about the Navy Academy, but what you just shared with me about the locking with the crew that you came in with or whatever, that's the origin. That's where that came from. So that's what you just said about you wanted to save everybody. Now I get it. That's what that came from.
Mm.
So this goes back to what we were just saying about getting to the origin of things.
Mm.
So you just taught me something today.
Mm.
And we've talked about this, but we didn't go into great detail
Yeah.
about that. So now I understand because you were still in the Navy when you was coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So you still had that concept of
Mm-hmm.
you looking around. This my hood. This where I'm from. I know what I struggled. And when I got out of here, I'm coming back.
Mm.
And I'm going to give and I'm going to help and I'm going to save and I'm going to. So now I know why. The upbringing and then the military part. Okay, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
this year's old when I found this out today.
Yeah, that me too. So I never articulated it.
There
So
it is.
this is what
There-
conversation does.
There it is, brother.
Yeah, so get
There it
started.
is.
Just
Right.
Just talk it out.
There
But no,
it is.
that's absolutely it,
Yeah.
man. Like, I see some people doing things on such a high level. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, we know the big names.
Mm-hmm.
We know the big names, but like when I really look, I look at I'm gonna shout you out, Shannon Stanley.
Okay.
Shannon Stanley, like a star. Like this, my boys Kevin Keith Stanley. This their sister,
Okay.
and I want to say she went to Virginia State.
Okay.
She went to Virginia State. She was the Cheewa Dream.
Big ups. Big ups.
Yeah, Cheewa Dream went through the whole. I won't accepted by the Cheewa Dream or none of the magnet programs, so they never accepted me.
Right.
But no, she made it through that, and I see her doing things. You know, we have dialogue every now and then through our social media, but we always share, you know, our sentiments, how we proud of each other we are. Like, I'm just proud of her journey, and you know, it's a lot of us, man. People that in those two roles, out of those two roles, it became like common for people just to do something.
Right.
Whether you join a service, you go to college. I don't know, but even, and not to say that other people didn't like do anything great, because I still see them in these higher things, because I know like we was all in that thing together,
Right.
and like, man, it was so much just love. I got some personal stories where the girls in that community,
Right.
like they mess with me hard, and I don't know, oh, I want to get with you tight. No, it was like, yeah, they looked out me over their friends.
You were different.
Yeah.
You were different.
So that whole thing, and I recognize all of it. So I appreciate all of them. When I see all of those women now,
Yeah.
where they are in life, like they know what time it is with me. It's always been love, but it was just so common that was my expectation of the world.
Yeah.
And I get out here and I'm just like, oh,
The innocence of a child.
Yeah. So now I'm out here, and the common stuff the common relationships that we have. So that's why I'm cool. I can be cool with women because, again, I'm an only boy.
Right.
Only boy. I grew up with all girls, and then the girls in the neighborhood, they was my friends too. So
yeah,
like I'm just cool with everybody.
It
ain't on no, oh, I'm gonna get you.
Right.
I never done nothing with any of them like
Right.
that. But I fuck with them.
Yeah.
Those my folks, and so how I relationshiped early on with them helped me to shape the man I am today.
Definitely.
So now I can get along with women and not look at them like, oh, I'm trying to get something from you. Like, no, I'm really, this me.
It's me. I'm strictly here for the friendship.
Yeah, that's me.
That's peace. That's peace, brother. That is peace, man. We have damn, this has been great.
Damn, yeah, we did 2 hours. Look, I'm gonna be a revolving guest on Peace Party people, because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
It's the doors are open. You already know what time it is, brother, and I'm gonna be back on this, sharing some stories with you, because there's so much I want to talk about, but I don't want to give away so much, because we want to continue to help feed our listeners, our viewers, and man, this has been awesome. This has been everything I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I couldn't even sleep last night. I went to bed and it's like, yo, I don't want to bug out on the joint. I don't want to fuck up. But
it's cool.
man. I enjoyed it. I learned something today. I hope I was clear in what my message will be on my podcast, and I hope everybody enjoyed what me and you had to talk about today.
Man, shoot, they will. And if it ain't everybody, somebody will.
Word. So yeah, man. You can catch me on Instagram at Peace Party People. My personal Instagram is Flash Valley. Podcast coming soon, real soon. I'll try to get back in here at the end of this week and get going with Peace Party People. And we're going to have some fun.
Man, let's get to it. Again, this is my guy, Mr. Marcus West. Look, Peace Party People, Flash Belly. Man, look, we ain't even get to. Marcus is the epitome of the Renaissance man. Look, cut hair. Look, bro,
Yeah.
we didn't even do this interview justice today. This is me off the cuff. You actually just in the middle of a conversation.
Right.
There was no written questions,
Right, yeah.
no
It's off the
direction.
hip.
We just sat down and started talking. So, I hope you enjoy this. If you did, we'll come at you in a more organized manner going forward.
Right.
But we appreciate you rocking with us today,
Yeah.
and we're looking forward to starting something beautiful, man.
My man.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
Ah, that was dope.
That was more than dope, boy.
Hell, that was dope.
Damn right, cuz. Damn right. That's what this shit about.
Damn. Let's go drop this shit on this computer.
Damn. That's what that shit was about, man. That's what I needed. Yo. I'll be in there. I'm gonna turn off everything. I got you. Got you, man. Oh, you already stopped, man.